This is my brand new race car, a Vauxhall Corsa purpose-built for oval racing, which I will be using to compete around the UK against some of the very best in the sport. Together we will face mechanical failures, heartbreak, controversy, elation, and of course, as the title may suggest, by the end of this video my shiny pristine looking race car may not be looking quite as pretty. Hello and welcome back to Cornish Boy Tries to Be Lewis Hamilton. I'm Aiden and I race in the ORCI stock rods, a category of stock car racing which sees 1400cc, mainly front wheel drive cars race side by side, lap after lap on ovals all around the UK. And we do so without making any contact. Apparently. Since my debut in the series in 2023, we've gone from finishing 2 laps down in the British Championship to battling for a podium in the European. In today's video, we're recapping the first 6 meetings of my 2025 season as I debut a brand new car and compete for the national, English and UK championships. Can I continue my progression up the ranks and finally get a podium finish, or will things soon take a turn for the worst? But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, lads, because it is currently February 9th and we are deep in pre-season prep. For the past 2 seasons, I've raced Corey here, and boy oh boy have we had some fun. What are you doing, you dumb? But for this season, Corey's taking a back seat because, like a 60-year-old man with his wife of 40 years, I'm trading him in for a younger model. But before I show you the new whip for this season, I also decided that my kit needed upgrading this year as well. Lads, you may have heard the phrase, all the gear, but no idea. This season, we've taken that to the extreme. I've dressed myself up, got some fresh overalls, got a brand new tinted visor. I look like an absolute weapon. And I mean that in the positive way and the negative way. Now I need to do a big shout out to Grip Racewear. Where is it? Somewhere down here. I'm sure if you know anything about oval racing in the UK, you've seen these overalls all over your timeline for the past year or so. Custom made to your design with your sponsors, your name, everything like that. And I think, well, it speaks for itself. They're very, very sexy. So thank you very much, Charlie at Grip. And yeah, if you like what you see, lads, make sure you order yourself a pair. What do you think of the overalls, Squally?
They are so cool.
They're also a little bit tighter on my crutch. You wait, I'll win a championship or something and I'll get on my roof and I'll just split my trousers fully open. However, my car and crushing arms aren't the only thing new this year, lads. As 2025 sees the stock rod formula undergo a regulation change that sees them change their tyres for the first time in over 20 years. Now, previously we ran these, the Yokohama AO21Rs. A relatively cheap but effective race tyre, which unfortunately, they no longer make. So now, lads, we're on these bad boys. The Hi-Fly HF201. Once again, quite a budget-friendly tyre. However, the main difference is these aren't race tyres. In fact, they look a lot more like the tyres you put on your trailer that you put your race car on than they would tyres you put on your race car. So it goes without saying, lads, objectively speaking here, it's a bit of a downgrade on paper. And as always, some people aren't very happy about it. In fact, throughout my last few videos, you may have seen some cars with a no Hi-Fly sticker on their bumper. But why were they doing this, lads? What was their actual issue with the Hi-Fly tyres in the first place? Why didn't they want them? It's that since this Hi-Fly is, not a race tyre, it will not only make the car slower, but it will also make it less grippy, making it harder to overtake, especially around the outside, thus leading to more contact between drivers and then creating a worse driving experience for us, and also it sort of ruins it because we're not meant to be hitting each other, and we hit enough as it is, boys. So yeah, in short, that's it. I'm not going to go into the debate of whether or not the Hi-Fly tyres were the right choice or not, because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, both sets of tyres are black and round, and it's what the oval racing gods have said we have to run, so we're running them. What it does mean though is that practice is more important than ever, because with the new tyres, the setups are going to change, and the first person who can get on top of these new tyres should have a mega advantage this season. So practice is critical. And of course, to do practice, we need ourselves a car. So finally, lads, it's time to reveal my brand new whip for the 2025 season. Even though you've already seen it loads in the thumbnail for this video and in the intro and stuff, but just pretend you haven't seen it, all right? I just want any excuse to throw a little montage in here. And here he is, boys and girls, the brand new whip for the 2025 season. Wilson. Or to give him his full government name, Wilson the Whip. Starting with the bonnet, we have 3 brand new sponsors on the car. We have Autocore MOT Centre, which is Callum, which is the ginger guy who we race in steroids as well. He's also car hire corner on the sides. And also Bub Fab, our mate Keith, who did some of the fabrication on this car, including the arches and stuff like that. And of course Grip Racewear, who make the overalls that you've already seen in this video. The name strip is very, very shiny. We've got the chrome on the Aiden, the shiny blue on the Vincent. This should look very, 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 very nice in the sun. But yeah, I'm a massive fan of this, and the chrome does not stop there. Because on this side, which is kind of hard to see because we're so close to the wall, so I'll do my best, we have got Suit Brothers Custom Taylor, who, if you remember, was on the bonnet of Corey over there. The Vintech is the same on both sides. It's a nice big red bold font to match the roof, which is red now, instead of just this, you know, red strip we had on before, because realistically, lads, we were too lazy to paint it. More chrome here with the automotive, which looks banging if I do say so myself. And we have Mobile Eco Tuning returning for another season. Brand new roof in here, looking very cool. Again, new font. We still have the same Aiden above the door, Dad on the back pillar, and Chris Hamill signs here above the boot. And then finally, lads, on the boot, we again have kept it sort of similar with the subscribe to MrAidenRule. But yeah, I like it. Obviously, the main difference this year is the fact that this is a brand new car. Everything on it is just, you know, brand new. It's all, you know, straight, not been bent yet. My dad is going to hate the fact that I just kicked it because it's been that much of, like, you know, he's taken so much care building this car. So again, I have to say, Dad, thank you so much. You've smashed it. The man, right, has got so anal about this car that he's taken his shoes off to get on the inside while building it. That's either premium craftsmanship or dementia setting in early. Oh, lads, and how could I forget? We've got one more brand new addition, and it's under this. Look at this bad boy, lads. A brand new JB Racing engine. Well, I say brand new, I think it's like a couple of meetings old, but it's brand new to me anyway. This is gonna be, well, I mean, it might not be that much different than the one I had in there, but it's newer. It should be good. Every bloody wire, tube, everything in this engine bay, bar like one thing that my dad couldn't find, is brand spanking new. And honestly, I'm so excited. It looks so good. I just can't wait to get out there on track. So let's not waste any more time and get to some on-track footage, because I know you lot hate it when I just stand in the garage and just talk and delay the racing footage by talking and talking and talking. Practice got off to a rough start, as after a few laps of making sure the engine didn't explode, Wilson decided to attempt murder by literally sending me out into the wall. Basically, as I was going to the corner, the car, no matter how slow I went, would not turn. Now, I know I'm not the best driver, lads, but I promise you, I can go round a corner. So clearly, something was wrong. After pulling off, we went back to the pits and realised that a damaged hub was causing the outside wheel to move as I cornered, literally steering me into the wall as I put on the power. So once we changed that, all was well. The car drove in circles perfectly, didn't explode, great success. As for the new tyres though, if I'm honest, lads, they didn't feel too much different than the old ones, just, you know, standard while driving around. They still go around the corners and stuff, but I did notice in that final sort of 10% of pushing the car and really sending it into the corner, they don't handle it quite as well. They end up pushing on quite a lot. And yeah, if I'm honest, lads, I think we're going to really struggle to actually go on the outside of cars this year unless we get some setup changes done. So there's still loads to learn, but at the end of the day, the car didn't blow up, and that's the main thing. The season starts tomorrow at St. Day, so I'm ready for it. I'm really looking forward to the car going out there. But yeah, first impression of the new tyres, I'm not a massive fan. I would rather us stay on the old ones, but obviously that wasn't really an option. So we've got to live with it now. Let's try and find a setup that actually works. But for now, right, boys and girls, it's race day, the first one of the new season, the first one in the new whip, and I'm excited. Slightly not nervous, that's the wrong word, maybe apprehensive as to how it's going to go, being off red with the new tyres and there being so many cars, but as always, you know the deal, we've just got to send it and see what happens. So, Corey lad, thank you again for your service, but it's time for Wilson to do some crashing.
How does it feel to lie to your audience and pretend you know anything about cars and how they work?
See? Steering wheel, driving wheel, bonnet. So So, just in case you're new to this over racing stuff, this is how the format of the race day will go. We'll partake in 3 races with each being 20 laps long. The drivers will line up for the race in a roof grade format, which sees the newest / slowest drivers at the front and the fastest, most experienced at the back. A driver's roof grade is indicated by the colour of their roof, with the white being the newest / slowest, followed by the yellows, then the blues, then the reds, then the champions. Thanks to my decent season last year, I'm currently a red roof, which means I'm starting nearest the back, nearly 3/4 of a lap behind first place. Basically meaning, lads, if I want to try and get a W out of this, I'm going to have to really put a shift in. Before we went racing though, I had some serious media duties to complete, as some local uni students wanted to interview me for what I can only assume was the next series of the Undatables. So I'm Aiden Vincent. Do I need my age as well? Am I too old for my age and stuff now?
Are you there to race or are you there just to crash into?
So these are non-contact, so we're not meant to crash at all. But some drivers, not going to say which drivers, like to crash with one another. So enemies made and waffling complete, we were now ready to go racing. And after all the prep getting Wilson ready, it was time to finally see what he was made of.
Here we go, lads. We're jumping inside. Oh, trouble in here, boys.
It became clear quite quickly that we hadn't got the setup quite right, as especially out of turn 2, I just couldn't stop the car pushing out to the fence, thus meaning bar the opposition gained on a struggling white roof, we pretty much ended where we started. However, we could take some solace in the fact that none of the other top drivers could really make much ground up either, as the lower graded cars ran away with it from the front while all of us sat in a train behind.
Oh, well, first race of the year done. Bit shit, but can't really get anywhere off the back, lads. The tyres don't really stick for the outside, and even the quick cars couldn't really get through, so I don't know. Definitely some setup changes to work on. Or why are they cheering me? They're cheering me. I came last, lads. Yeah, nice one.
Race 2 was more of the same, as I sat in line behind the rest of the red graders, making little to no progress whilst the white and yellow roofs continued to dominate. Now, if you've never seen over racing before, you may be starting to doubt this roof grade system, but I assure you, usually it does work really well, as it gives more drivers a chance at victory and makes the faster ones work for it, as they've got to, work their way through the pack, with the quickest champion drivers usually catching the top 3 in the final 5 laps of the race, which makes it a good spectacle for spectators and fun for the drivers, because we get to battle each other and work our way through. However, whether it's the fact that the new tyres aren't working quite well yet, no one's got the setup right, or the fact that the bangers are also racing today, leaving oil, dirt and God knows what else all over the track, making it more slippery, nobody can make any real progress up the order. Hopefully there's some setup changes we can do as a formula to try and make that not the case, but yeah, as it stands right now, it's a very different form of racing as it was the last time I was here, if that makes sense. But yeah, time for the final. I'm going to give it my best and see what we can do, because, if there's carnage, we could get through it. Or we could crash and die. Despite my hopes of turning things around, the final ended up being my worst race yet. The bangers had really made a mess of the track in the race before, so the grip was low. Yet aside from that, lads, I was just generally driving a bit shit, I'll be honest. From watching the onboards and even the external camera, I was just all over the place. I couldn't find the rhythm, couldn't get any grip. Even the GoPro was playing up. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, Yep, to make my woes worse, with just 2 laps to go, my rotor arm decided to break, giving me a nice, fat, steamy DNF, and bringing an end to, quite frankly, a shocking start to the season. I don't know if it's me or the car, I'll be honest with you, Dad.
Yeah, but hey, no one else is getting anywhere.
Yeah, but then no one's getting
like Fast and Furious did a knockoff, slow and annoyed. Slow and piss right off. Hello.
So, day done. First meeting of the year, complete. First meeting in the new car, finished. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit shit, I'll be honest, lads. The car didn't necessarily go bad. Like, I mean, we had that one issue at the end of the final, but I mean, that's just poor luck, to be honest. Like, considering it's a brand new car, fresh out the box, it's gone all right. Like, nothing major has gone wrong. It's just, I felt slow all day. I know I started at the back, but I pretty much finished last most race, and if I didn't, I was like second or third to last. And just compared to those around me and the few cars that lapped me at the end of the final, I just felt slow. They're pulling away from me, and I just haven't felt this slow since like my first season of racing. So I don't know, in my head every driver's in the same boat, you know, the track conditions are the same for everyone, the tyres are the same for everyone. So I mean, realistically, if they're pulling away from me, I'm the problem. So yeah, hopefully things are only going to go up from here as the season goes on. But annoyingly, my next meeting isn't for a few months time, because due to work commitments and stuff, I miss quite a lot of them. So this video right now is probably about to cut to me in about 2 or 3 months time, waffling once again. So hopefully my hair's better in that clip. Spoiler alert, it's not, hence the hat. But here we are, lads, 2 months later, and it's finally race week for me once again, as we've got the National Championship at Buxton. And yeah, thankfully for me, the format on a championship day is a little bit different, and fingers crossed, in theory, it should favour me just a little bit. Welcome to Buxton, a track which, aside from being made up of 2 straights and 4 turns, shares very little with St Day. In fact, since the last time we came here last season, the corners of the track have been completely reprofiled, making the straights slightly shorter and the corners even wider. They also added this lovely inside curb, which I'm sure no drivers will use as an additional racing surface. The format for today is different, as it's a championship event. Race 1 will start in a random order, which will then be reversed for race 2, and then the points you score throughout those heats will set the grid for the final. And then whoever crosses the line in that race first will become the new national champion. To set the random grid, we got very technical, and each pulled a card from a deck, which then correlated to a grid slot. So I'm starting inside, second from last row for the first race, then second row outside for the second race. Could be worse, could be better.
So, it's showtime here at a sun-soaked Buxton. Heat 1 is about to get underway, and it's going to be crucial for those drivers to score as many points as they can. It's a solid start for Vincent, but can he keep moving forward? Vincent is struggling. That's another position lost out there. As the checkered flag comes out, that is not the result the 51 would have wanted. 10th place.
Not screaming, but it's not down on power, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what to say, because it looks... Hand looks fine, it just
Looks fine.
Looks slow.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Right, so we've done race 1. It went not great. Car was a bit, I don't know, slow's the only word I can think of. It's not like it wasn't gripping well or it was down on power on the straights. It just, I don't know what's wrong with it or what's wrong with me. It's not going that well at the minute, but we've changed some gear in, see if it can get a bit quick on the straights, see if that fixes anything. But yeah, I'm a little bit stuck for what to do right now. I don't know if it's a mental thing or what, but I'm going to go on the next race now, send it even harder, and hopefully that works. almost immediately the car felt much better, and for the first time this season, I didn't really feel slow. That being said though, I wasn't able to make any progress on the car ahead, and in fact ended up losing a few positions in the latter laps of the race. Which isn't great, I'll be honest, but given the start to the season we had, this actually gave me a bit of confidence, since, you know, I wasn't feeling stupidly slow. Plus, a P7 finish was still a solid few points in the bag, which hopefully should have us starting further up the grid in the final.
So we're starting the final on the 4th row on the inside. Not a bad position because we are on the inside, but it's going to be carnage. So realistically, I'm just going to keep it tidy and send it and try not to die. Here we f***ing go, boys. The racing line. Typical. We're quickly now going in front, just got to find a way past him. He's gone wide, inside. Is that up? Green light. No. Right, let's take the back. That went tits up big style, didn't it? Inside now. We've done him. Right, get away, go, go, go. It's not over yet, they're still cooking up front. We can still catch this. They're battling, come on! Catch him! 5 to go. We can follow Callum through here. Ours has just got up on the top. We're going to get involved here in the last few laps. Come on! Come on! Two to go, come on! Out the inside of Callum, we can make that work, come on! Just wait back. Got him. Got him. Got him. Let's go. What a race. That was so fun. Finally, a race where it feels like I can actually compete, and I really enjoyed that. That's why I f***ing love racing, right there. After the last bit of time where I've had a few dodgy races and I've been feeling a bit down about it, a bit lower motivation, that is what I needed to really up things back up. You know, it's not an amazing result, it's not a standout. Yes, I made a few mistakes and stuff, but I'm able to race again, and I feel competitive, and that's what I needed. I didn't want to go to Skeg next meeting and be like, you know, low in confidence, because that's a confidence track. So yeah, really enjoyed today. It's been a decent day. It's just gone up and up and up, really. So even though it wasn't, you know, an outstanding result, it's still a result I will definitely take. And I think confidence-wise and mentality-wise and motivation-wise, it's a massive, massive result.
Wilson has proved himself to be a little bit quicker than I first thought, and also I've proved to myself that I'm not washed. Well, maybe a little washed. Am I a little washed? A bit washed, but not super washed, which is the main thing. And also, my whole body is wet with sweat. It's very warm in here. So, 2 meetings down, and thankfully the car was still in one piece, and the vibes were certainly much higher than they were after St. Day. But there was no time to relax, because next up, like I said, was the fabulous, amazing, one-of-a-kind, most groovy... Morning, race fans. We are in the fabulous Skeg Vegas, ready for the best weekend of the year, the UK Championship doubleheader. We've got qualifying today and then the big championship race tomorrow. If you remember last season, this was a pretty good weekend for me. We qualified like 7th for the championship, I think, and then we got up to 3rd at some points and eventually finished 5th. So fingers crossed that this season we can do the same thing. It's very warm this weekend, like it always seems to be at Skeg Vegas, so we're going to see how the tyres cope with the heat and the sending and realistically the crashing. So fingers crossed we don't get any damage and we enjoy the racing, and yeah, we survive with the car in one piece.
Give me a man after midnight. Want somebody help me chase the shadows away. Give me a man after midnight.
I also race with my hat in my car now because there's an infamous picture from my first ever race, which I won, where you get a picture taken outside the car and my hair's like that, and the guy who runs the racing decided that that would be a really funny picture to put on my licence.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting.
Before we went racing, we had an hour or two of paid practice to get a feel for the circuit and play around with setups. Yet, in true 2025 fashion, our session began with an immediate issue, as somehow, while driving onto the track, I snapped my engine mount. I didn't hit anything or anyone, so honestly, God knows how that happened. Let's just blame my dad's dodgy welding for now, yeah? Once we'd sorted that though, we finally managed to get a few laps in without any more drama. So, practice is done now, we got a few runs in, and generally speaking, the car's feeling alright. I don't feel like I'm fully dialed in on like the maximum yet, but we're getting there slowly but surely. We tried a few different setups with the tyres and the springs and stuff, and I think we're about where we want to be for the first heat, so realistically, we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be carnage. We just got to go out there now, send it, and hopefully get a good result. With practice done and dusted, it was time to go racing. Today, we had 3 qualifying heats where the points we score on them make up the grid for the championship the day after. And just like in Buxton, the grids are set by a random draw, which should give everybody a race where you start near the front, the middle, and the back. For Heat 1, I was starting P13, so fingers crossed I can move forward and score some all-important points. But let's see, shall we?
DJ play one for the bad man. DJ play one for the ladies. Said go on and the crowd go crazy. I'm on the wave, he's trying to get wavy. A little bad boy from Tottenham. Don't say shit, play cops and rims. Now rims, I'm copping them. Champagne popping them. Hands in the air like who's... DJ play one for the bad man. DJ play one for the ladies. Said go on and the crowd go crazy. I'm on the wave, he's trying to get wavy. A little bad boy from Tottenham. They cops and robbers now whips. I'm copping them. Champagne popping them. Hands in the air like
Send it, come on!
movie. This one for the OGs and the juvies. Who's that running the vibe? It's yours truly. And if you don't like me, just sue me. Catch me at 8 Y's, okay. I don't know what they told you. I ain't the one sit around twiddling thumbs.
Come on! The outside, let's go, come on! We can make it work, we can make it work. Come on! Yes, come on! Win! Yes, come on! Come on! Never want to know, do we try it? I don't think we risk it. That was a decent race, boys. I think we got like a 5th or a 6th. We maybe could have gone for that position on the last lap there, but the car was closing in behind. I didn't want to risk it. Today is about collecting points, so if I just go on the outside and lost the position, it would have been not worth it, so you know.
We got to not get too confident now because we got lucky. A lot of cars got absolutely battered in that race, and that could be us next heat, so not that I'm planning on it.
ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk, I don't write raps. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk, I don't write raps. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk. Right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk. Bitch, right off my feet, this a hijack. Why your nigga flexing like he ain't even like that? Bitch, mistake my newest pinky ring for an ice pack. Shorty keep on there requesting me about some Snapchat. I don't even like rats, invested into mice traps. Churches on my jewelry, like that. I just put my finger in them, cause she like that. Don't compare that pussy boy to me. Feeling like I'm something Jimmy Keith. Pick that up. On me, I don't like that. Niggas okay. And I'm right back. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. I just talk, I don't write raps. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk, I don't write raps. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk. ASAP, right up on my gut, and that's a life tag. Look inside the booth, I just talk.
Sake! F***ing hell, man!
Wow. That went well, didn't it, lads? We all knew it was coming. I've teased it enough throughout the intro of this video. Our first proper crash of the season. Oh, hell. You have to laugh, else you'll just cry. Coming to start, lap 19, Harrison ahead caught the rear tyre of Ben, giving him a puncture. At this point, it looked like he'd actually saved it and was going to continue on the curb and then drive to the infield, or even continue driving around to try and score some points, thus allowing me and Callum to go around him and continue our race. However, upon hitting the curb, it became clear that he actually had a date with the infield tyre, and as it turned out, I was also invited to this threesome. Despite the absolute deletion of my neck, I actually came out of the crash unscathed. Paul Wilson, on the other hand, though, did not.
Let's have a look.
Did anyone tell him he can't park there? See how it is, Harris, yeah.
We'll change the engine, mate. That doesn't matter. You get the port power in there, that'll press out. It's only a locator.
Do you want to race? Drive here for the weekend.
If it's doable, I'd like to, but I don't want to do it if
It's literally an engine and a wrap. That is it.
I'd always like to race.
Right, let's do it.
So, crashing that race, as you just saw, not ideal. Engine is pretty much or at least for the time being. So, we've taken that one out, got a new one in, and we're trying to get the car ready for the next race. Thank you to everyone that's hopped on in and helped, because I am horrendous at mechanics, and the most I can do is do the fuel and take off a few bolts. So, yeah, we're getting there. I think we might make out in the next race, and this is what motorsport is all about, boys and girls. Get on your knees. Health and safety,
You can't find the hole. Yeah, you can't find the hole.
Look, it's been a rough month, Jody, alright? Despite all the damage, the boys put in a monumental effort and managed to get another engine in and the car straight enough for me to go out in the final heat. The bonnet may be ratchet strapped down and it might look a little bit like a banger, but it works. And with a DNF in the previous race, there was now even more pressure to secure a decent result if I wanted any chance to compete at the front tomorrow. So as the sun set over Skeg Vegas, it was time to go racing again. That's right, boys and girls, after all that effort just to get back out on track, we go out there and get a puncher, and securing myself my second DNF of the day, which obviously I took really well.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So that was a f***ing disaster, lads. After a monumental effort from all involved to get a new engine in, the car ready to go and actually driving, we got a puncture. And the car was actually going really well as the race went on. We were gaining a lot of positions, it was flying, and then f***ing puncture ended the race. So no points in that one either. We're going to be starting the championship tomorrow right at the back, so last to first challenge engaged. I'm feeling very deflated, as you can see, but yeah, this is racing. We have these days, so the good days are even better.
So, day 2 here on the fabulous Skeg Vegas. Yesterday was an absolute disaster, to say the least. Wilson is no longer looking as clean and as sexy as he once was, but he lives to fight another day. We've got the championship race first thing this morning. There's no practice, nothing. It's just straight out there and going for the championship. So, as expected, we're pretty much starting last, so the only way we can go now is forward. So, we just got to get in the car, send it as hard as we can, and hopefully get our way up the grid and get a good result and just have a good race. Because at this point, I just want to finish a race in a good position, lads.
That'll get the ladies going, that, won't it? Flood warning in Skegness issued as Aiden spits out glove. They were f***ing shitting all night in this morning in the caravan. Dad fell asleep eating Haribo's after having a kebab.
Tecnologia!
Right, boys and girls, here we go. It's time for the UK Championship final. 27 cars, 30 laps, and 1 title to be won.
Do this shit. Outside a bit here, but it's fine, stay in it.
I had a pretty clean start to the race, however despite being quicker than the car ahead, I just couldn't make the outside line work. Eventually though, I did make up a few positions getting through on the inside and was hyped up to try and make some more. But in all honesty lads, this race was kind of boring actually, with me only gaining a few more spots thanks to a few spinners and DNFs, crossing the line in P9 just avoiding getting lapped by the winner. If I'm honest lads, I'm obviously a bit disappointed. Last year in the UK we had 5th place and now this year it's 9th. But I mean, we started in like Narnia, so realistically we can't really be that disappointed. We've got one more race left today. It's just an all-in cars final off of the grade, so hopefully we can get something good out of that. Currently, as you can see, I'm hard at work getting the car ready and getting the tyres ready while Dad's sitting around doing nothing, not doing any hard work at all. I'm very invested in this racing stuff, as you can see. But yeah, hopefully this next race is good and we can end this weekend on a high because it has been shocking so far, I'll be honest, lads. But yeah, that's racing. This is why we do it. And yeah, let's go send it again.
Gotta show 'em how we do it. This is the last time to get it right. This is the last chance to make it on. Yeah, we gotta show what we're all about. We're together.
So, day done. The last race went just as well as the rest of the weekend, that being f***ing shocking. The car was going well, making up some good positions, and then the drive shaft fell out or broke or something, so basically I nearly died. All in all, shocking weekend, but still, Skeg Vegas is great. I need to go help them with the car now because I promise you I'm not a full arrive and drive driver. That makes sense. See, even my speaking's breaking this weekend. Thanks to everyone who helped with the car, even though it did break again. Yeah, nice one, lads. You know, get me a kebab. And so from the highs of our 2024 Skeg Vegas weekend, 2025's trip to this premium holiday destination really didn't go as well. 3 DNFs, 1 potentially broken engine, and 1 definitely battered car that I've been needing a lot of TLC before we could go racing in it once again. If I'm honest, lads, I'm a bit disappointed after last weekend. I think especially since we did so well there last year, and the season so far this year has been so bad. I was looking forward to going back. I was really hoping it'd be a bit of a turnaround point in this season, you know. Off track as well, there's been lots of stuff going on. You know, I've moved back to Cornwall. There's a certain sticker you may notice is missing from my car, and it just feels a bit shit. Realistically, we're just driving around in circles for 20 laps at a time. It's not that serious, but to me, to many of the people I race with, and I'm sure some of you watching will be able to relate to this, when you have a hobby or something like that that sort of becomes a big part of your life, it's like no matter what's going on off track or, you know, whatever stresses you have at work and stuff like that, when you're in the car and when you're racing, sort of everything else doesn't really matter, you know? For that 20 lap period, all that matters is getting past the car in front of you or, you know, putting them in the wall depending on who it is. But yeah, I don't want to get too cringy about talking about racing and stuff, but, you know, I want to be open on this channel and talk to you about things as they happen, if that makes sense. Like, racing is meant to be my, like, fun, and because everything's been going wrong recently, it's been a bit hard and making it a bit less enjoyable, but at the same time, there has been points throughout these last few meetings where I've been like, you know, this is sick. This is why I love racing. So hopefully going forward this year, we can try and get a few more of those moments and less, well... But obviously, lads, that's racing. You can't win them all, although it would be nice to win some at some point. And we do have some more meetings on the horizon coming up. We have the English Championship in a few weeks at Taunton, followed by just a regular meeting at St. Day. I'll save you all the details of the full front end rebuild, but in short, lads, we have my engine from last year going back in, new drive shafts, new radiator, and obviously we have to get the car looking somewhat presentable again. Yet, thankfully for you lot watching, thanks to the power of video editing, we can skip all of that and just get straight to... Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Taunton, aka Smeatharpe Stadium, where the conditions are bipolar to say the least. We've had sunshine, we've had rain, and we've not even started racing yet. There's 35 cars here today, so realistically it's going to be carnage. Because we've got so many cars and it's a championship, we've got split heats, so it's 2/3 of the entire grid in each heat, and the points you get from those heats will set the grid for the final. So we're starting in a random order, hopefully we're somewhere good. Currently the sun is out, so it's dry. We're going to put dry setup on, dry tyres. No, that means it's about to piss it down, but yeah, let the carnage unfold. One went uncharacteristically smooth, as after starting P4 I tucked in and held my own to stay there, despite a good amount of pressure from a speedy Harrison behind me.
That was fun, I enjoyed that. That was good. Car felt quick. Solid result, solid points. On to the next one.
Heat 2, however, would not be as simple, as instead of starting near the front in P4, I was now lining up all the way down in 19th, meaning that to get those all-important points, I had it all to do from the back.
Flying now. We can make that side work. Come on, send it, send it! can get him 4 laps of their lifetime.
You can't park this, huh?
Another day, another crash with a Falcon Bridge. After me and his brother Ben got friendly in Skeg, it was Callum this time that stopped me on the exit of a corner with damage on his car. Now, as much as this was bad luck on my end, I also had so much time to react to it when I just, well, didn't. I was so focused on trying to pass the 220 that I didn't actually see Callum until, well, you know. Thankfully, I had a big enough gap behind me though that I didn't lose any positions in the incident other than the one I was just taking. And in fact, I gained a position on Falcon Bridge as he had broken down, thus meaning the overtake kind of worked right. Yet Wilson though did not come out unscathed and was now in need of some even more TLC, which Dad was very, very happy about.
This is a waste of time. We could have been in a bar, having a nice cocktail.
Thankfully, by now, we'd become experts in fixing these banger rods, so before long, all was well again, and we were ready for another championship final. Did you just pan from the general waste of my car? Unfortunately for me, there was a bunch of drivers who all did very similar results to me in the heats, meaning that despite a solid P4 in race 1, I still only lined up in 14th place for the final.
So here we are, it's time for the English Championship final. We're starting fairly far back and on the outside, so not the best spot, but anything can happen. It's a long race, there's loads of cars, so you know, just have to keep our head down, try and move forward, and we can see where we end up. I am looking forward to this race though. I'm very excited, very hyped. There is some sprinkles of rain falling in, so it's going to be carnage. Let's go racing! Yellow flag, yellow flag. I missed second gear, I got 4th. Fucking hell. And my mirrors moved, let's readjust that. Right, let's try this again, shall we? Restart time, let's go. Safe!
By this point, it was clear that something was wrong with my gear linkage, thus meaning going into second gear wasn't as easy as it should have been. But thankfully, even though I lost some positions on the restart, as long as it stays green now, I should be alright.
It is 149 and we will be a punch out on the Christmas car.
Safe! We're going in second gear, man! In! Safe!
Now at this point it was clear it could go into second gear if it wanted to, it just wasn't very consistent. And thus, going into the second restart, all I could really do was just pray to the Lord above that it would actually go into gear when I wanted it to, and I wouldn't lose any more positions.
Get in! Sake!
And with that, any chance at a decent result in the English Championship, lads, was gone. I did my best to gain a few more positions, but at the end of the day, whether it's P14 or P13, it doesn't really matter.
Fucking shit car! For sake! Who the f have I pissed off? Honestly, I have had the worst luck for the past like 2 months. It's taken the piss. Alright, deep breath, it's fine. Can't be up, that's racing at the end of the day. Eventually, luck will turn. Just not today, clearly. Can I catch a break at some point?
It's safe to say it was another day to forget, with more bad luck, average results, damage, and of course frustration.
Get in!
So, that's the English Championship done, finished. God knows where, somewhere near the back. We had an issue with the gear linkage where basically it wasn't going in second gear when I wanted it to, so at the main start and then all the restarts afterwards, I just couldn't get it in gear. It's been a real bastard, and by the time I finally got it in second, I'd lost 2 or 3 positions, so yeah, finished right at the back. The car was going alright when it was actually going, but yeah, another bad result this year. I think unfortunate again. Obviously I could have qualified a bit better, but at that point it would have annoyed me even more if we had the issue, so but still there is some positives to take away. The car was going very well today at times. I felt quite happy with it, I felt comfortable, I felt like we had speed for the first time this year, really. And I mean, that engine I've got in now, I feel is quicker than the one I had before. I don't know, it might just be here because it's got quite a lot of acceleration. I don't know, but yeah, that's the current situation, lads. Another not great day, but what can you do? Diamond, how would you summarise the season so far?
Stressful.
But boys and girls, don't you worry, we still have one more race meeting left in this video, which means one more chance of getting some decent results. And for a change, it's not a championship, it's just a bog standard regular meeting, which means we're starting off of roof grades. Thanks to my bad luck this year so far though, I had now dropped from red roof to blue, which you may have noticed at Taunton, meaning that I would now be starting further up the grid than I would have been before. That being said though, we still have to put in the hard work and get those passes made if we wanted to get ourselves a W.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get tasty, baby.
Good morning, race fans. I hope you're ready for another banging day of action. It's currently 9 AM. We're going racing very soon. I'm having a cup of tea in my car to start the day, like a true British racing driver. How's the weather looking, Dad?
Shit.
It shouldn't rain all day, but I mean, it wasn't even meant to rain today in the first place, so lots of crashing inbound, most likely. Either that or we're going to win everything. There's no in between. So practice is done, it's now time for the races. We're split into two different groups for two different races at the start of the day, and the top 8 from those races will go through to the final, and if you're not in the top 8, you got to go in the consolation race, where the top 8 of that will then join the other 2-8 in the final. It sounds complicated because I'm stupid, but it's actually quite simple. So yeah, heat 1 coming up now. Hopefully not too much carnage, but maybe enough carnage behind us to hold the faster ones back, because the real fast one has to try and make some movement. Why are you looking at me like I'm talking shit? I'm quick, mate, clearly. You see my results this year? They're really good.
What results?
Really, yeah, really good. Really good.
You know.
What the f*** do you mean,
Right, here we go, race 1 time, boys. Time to send it. Come on, we got him! Push on the stage. Force the issue. We're going to go round into this, take him out. He's pushing wide, his side's gone up! Oh, we've had a collision there. Oh, big crash.
946 car thought he had the line when he went to retake the inside. Unfortunately, Aitken was already occupying that part of the track, so we're just going to check on the 946 car. Driver error.
Is he alright? Yeah, cool.
Well, boys, that wasn't in the plan, was it? Let's have a little look at what happened there before I get accused of anything, shall we? We were having a great little race with Dave in the 946, and coming to 3 to go, it looked like we may be able to make a move. He clipped the inside curb coming out of turn 4, sending him wide, and then going into T1, he either overcooked it slightly or his tyres were just dead to the point where he drifted wide, leaving the inside open. I then got my nose in and was going to attempt a move similar to that I made on 476 earlier in the race. However, Dave then, thinking he had the inside line free, moved across, found my front bumper, I let off not to spin him, and as I let off, he sort of, you know, full locked that way, trying to keep it straight. The wheels grip up and he sort of drives himself into the wall. As much as I feel like I am free of any wrongdoing here, especially after watching the footage, it still feels a bit weird, like it's just hard racing between us gone wrong. It was a shame for the race to end that way, considering we were having such a good little battle at that point, and obviously I'm glad Dave was okay, but his car was battered and he didn't get to race the rest of the day either, which is a shame. So anyway, it's been clear from this video, lads, that I haven't had the best season and we don't get many chances at a win anymore. So let's forget about any controversy that may have just happened here, and let's add these cinematic bars in and get some dramatic music playing, because we might get a race win, lads.
Go steady, go steady, go steady. 1 lap to go, come on. Come on, last corner. Come on, finally a good result. Hold it. Steady. That's it, that's a dub. Dub in the bag, let's go, boys. Finally a good result.
So, race 1 done, and we got a first place, our first win of the season. Unfortunately, with the crash, it feels a bit tainted, it feels a bit weird to celebrate it. Like, even though, looking back at it, the crash wasn't really my fault, it sort of takes away from, you know, I don't feel that excited about it, I don't feel like I want to scream from the rooftops, but after the meetings we've had recently, it's nice to get a good result in the end. So, the next race is the final, then we've got the Grand National after that, so hopefully we do well on that as well, but we shall see, because as we know in stock car racing, anything can happen, and often does. Okay start, I did my best to make the outside line work, but to no avail. Things then got a bit sketchy as the red roofs caught up and everyone tried to get around the hard defending 204, who was holding a tight line inside.
Stuck on the inside here.
Eventually though, after losing far more positions than I would like, I did manage to pass the 204. However, as the pack settled down, it became pretty clear that when racing with faster cars in clear air, it was pretty much impossible to make a move if you were only slightly faster, as the pace differential needed to go around the outside of someone was far too high, and thus I spent the rest of the race holding off Chris before crossing the line P13, ending an overall still enjoyable race, but with a bang average result. It was then time for a quick nap and a tactics talk with the old man before we geared up for the final race of the day. And spoiler lads, it looked a lot like Heat 2, as we all just sat in a train unable to make any proper moves. Maybe I just lacked the speed and talent required to do overtaking at this track like the top dogs can sometimes do, but the general consensus I'm getting from talking to other drivers and, you know, driving the track myself and seeing the other drivers drive the track is that St. Day has now sort of become the hardest one to overtake on with these new high fly tyres. Like turn 2 in particular is the main issue because like it's downhill, it's off camber, like to go around the outside there's a lot of stress going on that front left tyre and most of the time it can't really take it, causing you to push on out to the wall, thus losing you all the ground you've just gained on the car you're trying to overtake, thus meaning you can't overtake them. But yeah, as of now and going forward, it kind of feels like St. Day is one of those tracks where you start really matters, because if you start near the front, you're probably going to stay there, and if you start near the back like Callum, who is obviously a multi-time champion and a friend of ours, he can't even get to the front of the grid, whereas last year on the Yokeys he used to win off the back quite regularly, so clearly there's an issue with these tyres at this track. Hopefully setup can fix it. I don't really know. I'm not an expert. I just drive around in a circle. I'm sweating like Philip Schofield in a nursery.
Oh.
No, hang on.
It wasn't a proper nonce, was it?
I am sweating like Philip Schofield in a sixth form.
There you go. You got your analogies right.
Yeah, they're 17. So there we have it, another meeting done for 2025, and finally we come home with a bit of silverware for a change, and little to no damage, which is great. All in all, it was a decent meeting. Obviously race 1 went the best, but aside from that, we got stuck really in the pack, but the car finally had a bit of speed as well. I think this season so far has been a bit of a disappointment. You know, we've not had many good results, we've had a lot of crashes, a bit of bad luck, and just generally, I didn't feel that quick for the start of it, but the last few meetings I've finally been seeing some speed in the car. We just need to get some luck on our side and get ourselves in those positions where we can get more good results. After the last few meetings though, this silverware is very, very much needed, because I can't upload a video where I don't do well and get a trophy at some point, because you lot are going to think I'm washed. Which, to be fair, I might be, but at least I won 1 race, right? But it's not over yet. We've still got a few more meetings to go this year, including the World Championship, which is being held at St Day, and I'm going to be in it for the first time, if I qualify for it, which we'll get into in that video. So stay tuned for that. Apologies again for how long it's taken this video to come out. It's been a lot of work. I've been very busy. There's been lots of stuff going on track, as you've seen, obviously off track as well. But like we always say, that is racing, that is life. If you're a young racer watching this, take this as a lesson. There will be shit meetings, there will be crashes, there will be bad times, but all you have to do is just take a minute, have a deep breath, maybe have a little rage in your car if it makes you feel better, and then rebuild and get out there and send it again, because the victory will not feel as good if you've not had any losses. Anyway, enough cringy talk from me. Thank you again for watching, lads. Thank you to everyone that supported me this year. That's my sponsors, my dad, of course, all my family, and the legends that have been filming me this season so far. We've got Chris, Connor, TJ, Sander, and Ed, all have been filming me at some points this season. You've done a mega job. I hope you guys have enjoyed the nice camera work. And yeah, until next time, lads, I'll see you in a bit.